welcome back to Mr. Obsoletes Vintage Homesteading. Today is going to be video number 2 of things that we do on the homestead. And today's video is going to be exclusively on chainsaws. So anyway, we're going to start out from the smallest I use to the largest I use. And we'll talk a little bit about them, weigh them, and just show a little brief, and then after that we'll have video clips. You can see them in action. So we'll start out with our smallest one here, Mr. Expensive here. It's my little Mini Mac, got a 1974-75 model. It's an early one that has no safety features. It does have the automatic and manual oiling on it though, which is really a great deal for these little saws. These are really powerful and they do lots and lots of work with them. It's got a 14-inch bar. And it weighs 9 pounds. Next one here is basically the same saw, only it's later. Has a chain brake on it. And they cut the power on these a little bit. Not much, but the early one is the best, the most powerful of the whole bunch of them. This is about a 1982 model here or so. Same 14-inch bar, 3/8 low profile chain. And the displacement on these little saws is 32.8 cc's. Next saw up is our John Deere 40V, and the 40 is BS because it's actually only a 35 cc chainsaw. And this was made by Kioritz, which is known as Echo in the US today, in Japan. But this is a really nice little saw. It's a little bit bigger, smoother, and quieter than the little Macs, but it's not quite as powerful. So anyway, this was a buddy gave me this. Okay, the John Deere weighs 13 3/4 pounds. This is the next size up, and this was also a gift from the same fellow. This is a Poulan, or Poulan as I call them, on the low end saws. This is 38cc. It's got a 16-inch bar. They also came with an 18. This one is kind of unusual because it has automatic and manual oiling, which none of the small Poulans had, and it's also got Power Sharp, which is an Oregon device that they had a special chain. You could run the chain through, and you could actually sharpen the chain. Interesting thing is, it was a total failure, and they just reintroduced it here just a few months ago on the low end saws again. And it's got the nice Farmer Tech oil cap, also known as a bolt. That makes it special. And the Craftsman Poulan weighs 12 pounds. Got a 14-inch bar. Came with a 16 also. Next saw up is our favorite little Poulan, Mr. Pooh. It's 42cc. It's got an 18-inch bar. This is about a 2000 model year, I believe, according to the EPA sticker on it. It weighs right at 14 pounds. The system's not been modified, it's just completely stock. So fire it up and do the cuts here. Okay. Well, we'll check our times and figure out. Okay, well, our last modification on the saw, we put a brand new Oregon chain on here. It's a non-safety chain, so it's just a standard. Fire it up here. Next saw here is a Stihl 31, late 70s. It's 48cc. Got an 18-inch bar on it. This is one that was given to me. It needed some repairs, and I was able to scrounge up used parts to fix it, because new parts are no longer available anywhere, unless somebody's got a small stash somewhere, but had a really hard time finding the pieces for it. That weighs 17 3/4 pounds. I'll warm it up here and be right back. Well, you can see that's a great little cutter. Well, this will be the end of part 2 of things that we do on a vintage homestead. And this will be with the chainsaws up to 50 cc's. Okay, well, part 3 will be on more vintage chainsaws from 50 cc's on up that we use. Well, more footage on the same theme again. We're going to have tractors and vintage lawnmowers and power equipment. Well, if you haven't watched our first video on the things that we do here on the vintage homestead that we did on January 19th, I'd highly recommend it because we go over a lot of the things that we do and give you lots of good vintage BS. So we'll see you on the next video. Remember, vintage is best.